Alright, pay attention, because we are going to be educated by a SOVCIT about traveling and driving, and what is the difference between it. So, the short sit rap is that he basically got pulled over for an officer basically seeing him on the phone, which wasn't true, but then they started questioning him, and it turned out he didn't have a valid driver's license. Fill in the blanks, you know?
Hello, folks. Once again, this is my story on driving versus traveling. I came across...
Don't you mean how your life got turned upside down? And you'd like us to take a minute to sit right here? Tell us a story about how you attained all that SOVCIT flair. I don't know, man. I think you did it wrong.
A lot of information a few years ago, and I was hooked and sold, you know. I was told driving is only when you are conducting commerce, when you are doing business, when you're a cab driver or a delivery person, something like that. When you are making money while you're driving. Traveling is when you are going about your daily routine in your own personal vehicle, like if you're going to school or you're going to work, or if you're just about running errands. This is traveling.
Well, no, that's simply not true, now is it? Traveling is mostly you moving from one place to another, and no one is able to stop you. Difference being, if you are operating a motor vehicle, then suddenly you need a driver's license, registration, and insurance. Why is this so hard to understand? I mean, I understand why it's so hard to understand, because you don't want to understand. All part of the narrative, eh?
On state roads, you are free to do this without a driver's license. This is the information that I learned, and I believed it, and my license had got suspended.
Oh no, what happened next? Come on, man. Oh, I see what the problem is. You believe. You didn't learn, as you claim. You just believe what is in your favor. Problem being that what you believe is not actually what is true. Also, what kind of sovereign citizen are you when you still pay taxes and still actually have a driver's license? Or had, you know? Aren't you supposed to be all up at that defiant behavior? You know, that same behavior when you grow from a teenager into an adult? I dare say you guys subscribe to growing old, not growing up. With the latter actually taking some effort and responsibility. I'm the first to admit I'm an immature bastard. But when push comes to shove, I step up to the plate. You simply can't go through life like this.
Maybe I forgot. Maybe it might have been for child support or something. That's another whole story.
Why am I not surprised?
I'm not sure. I think it might have been for an unpaid ticket or something. My license was suspended.
Oh, what's that? Did they suspend your driving privilege? How strange. Almost as if you don't take any responsibility for your actions. And then actually think there's no consequences. It's just a sad state of affair that we have reached this level, right? Grown-ass people not taking responsibility, acting like immature, entitled little brats, and then start whining on the internet when push comes to shove. You know? The part where you step up to the plate? God damn it, man. What the hell's wrong with us? What happened in the last 20 years?
So I got pulled over. This is a couple years ago. I get pulled over on the turnpike. Now, I'm not sure if this applied, because I know it said state roads, and I know the turnpike is private, but I don't think I even had a chance with that in court. I get pulled over, I get a ticket. I go to put in a plea at my court date, and I put no plea. I didn't want to put in a plea because they only want you to plead guilty or not guilty. Now, as soon as you plead guilty or not guilty, you automatically accepting the charges. So I put no plea. I want the court to prove what I did was wrong.
Pray tell, what happened? We're hanging on your lips, man. This story is so enticing and totally not predictable.
Okay, so now it was months in between when I put in the plea and the trial. I believe I put in the plea and I get the ticket in January. I put the plea in February. I don't go to court for the trial until maybe August. September. They really stretched it out on me. So, court date comes, no lawyer. I'm thinking I know what I'm talking about.
No. This is too good. I'm out of here.
I printed out documents from the Supreme Court showing driving versus traveling, how you are allowed to do it. I printed out case laws from cases where this has happened, and the plaintiff lost. And
continue on Yardville Allentown Road for half a mile.
I printed it out. I had them submit it into evidence.
Fine, I'll come back. Let's see some more of this comedy sketch. So you submitted a case where people lost and then think it's evidence of you winning? What?
And the court case still didn't go my way.
Well, no shit, Sherlock!
I still lost the case. It seemed like the judge only wanted me to admit that I knew my license was suspended. Even though when I got pulled over by the cop, I told the cop that I was not driving. I am traveling. I am not driving. That didn't matter. He still gave me the ticket.
You know, has this thought ever occurred to you? You know, you're traveling while driving. That's basically what you're doing right now. Operating a motor vehicle, for which you need a driver's license. I mean, it's in the name.
Oh, the reason I got pulled over, because the cop thought he seen me on the cell phone. I wasn't on the cell phone. My girlfriend was on the cell phone and she held it up, but it looked like I was on. So when he pulled me over and I didn't have a license, a valid license, and driving, so that overrode the whole cell phone thing. So
Come on, man. Which is it? You just said you were driving. Or are you traveling? I mean, you're doing both. Why is this? I mean, you guys always do the word manipulation thing. You're not really good at it, are you? Well, look who I'm talking to. Mr. Hands over cases where SOVCITs lose their case and think it's gonna help him. Someone take this man's shovel away. He's digging his rabbit hole way too deep.
Well, the point is, I was unable to win my case for traveling when I was told I was driving. Now, this is my story. I got friends that told me that they do it all the time. Whenever they get pulled over, they get the case thrown out. It did not work for me. It did not work for me.
Now, now stay with me here. Are you sure those are your friends? At this point, I'm inclined to believe that they are just taking the piss out of you. Hey, maybe we can give him some kind of case laws where the SOVCITs lose and he thinks he's gonna win using that as evidence. You know, at some point, something has to click, and it didn't click with you, did it?
I don't know if I did it right or wrong, but this is my story on traveling versus driving. I had a hefty fine. My fine was about, I think it was $1,000 I had to pay to get my license back so that I can conduct commerce and drive again.
No, don't you mean traveling? Traveling? You're driving? Traveling? What are you doing? Which is it? Not that it really matters, but hey, at least get your wordy bits right. You're not a really good SOVCIT, are you? SOVCITs do the wordy bits, and you are not doing the wordy bits.
Took me about a whole year to pay it because I was like, I ain't paying nothing.
Gee, that really makes you wonder how it all added up to a bloody $1,000 fine, now didn't it? I mean, but what are you doing, man? You are just basically sawing yourself off at the knees. And I'm not even sure if that's a saying in English, but hey, it sounds funny. In short, what I mean is you're sabotaging yourself.
And then they showed me. Either pay to play, or you just don't play. Or when you play and you get in trouble, we'll make it even worse for you. That's what happened to me. That's my story on driving versus traveling.
Well, it's not really a good story now, is it? Also, I'm not even sure you learned your lesson. Did you even learn anything here? Because it's still quite obvious that you still don't understand that traveling and driving are not mutually exclusive. If you are walking, you're traveling. If you are driving a car, you're traveling and driving. Which just so happens to require a license, registration, and insurance. Not to mention some petrol. It's a motor vehicle after all.
Learn the ropes. It's real rough out here for certain people. That's the key. Certain people, it's rough. Over and out.
Yeah, certain people who don't have a license, who don't have insurance probably, who don't show up in court, who refuse to follow any kind of laws or rules, but still want the full protection of the state when shit hits the fan. You know, people who would like to have the rules not apply to them, but the rules apply to everyone else. I think there's a name for that. Something along the lines of dickflute or dipshittery university graduate. Why do I even bother with these people? They try to educate us, but then they basically make a fool of themselves because it's quite obvious they have no idea what they're going on about. Anyway, for the end of the video, gang, I want you guys to tell me if you're traveling or driving through the comment section. And on that very moving note, remember to tickle the bell and all buttons around it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Hey, SOVCITs, observe. I am traveling now, and I am not being detained.